And we are live here with our Boulder Chamber check-ins. I have Fred Hobbs with Imagine here to, yay, thank you, I love the wave, the necessary Zoom wave. So excited to learn more about Imagine. Having grown up in Boulder, I know a little bit, and being with the chamber, I know the things, but I want to share all of that and let you tell us a little bit more. So I think we'll just dive right in. And Fred, give us a little bit about yourself and then tell us about Imagine and what you feel is relevant for everybody to know right now. And then we'll dive into a few other questions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Kate. We sure appreciate the opportunity to share what we do. My name is Fred Hobbs. I am Director of Public Relations at Imagine. And Imagine is an organization that serves individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, things like autism, Down syndrome. It was established way back in 1963 by a group of parents who wanted their kids who happen to have these developmental disabilities to have the same opportunities as all the other kids in the neighborhood, right here in Boulder. And we continue to use that as the foundation of all of our work. We believe in the potential of all. We believe and know that the people that we serve can and do contribute to their communities every single day in ways big and small. And our goal is to try to help facilitate their ability to make those contributions. We serve people throughout their entire lives, from really young babies and toddlers all the way up to seniors. And whether it's after school camps or summer camp programs for school age kids, or residential housing for adults, or finding jobs for adults, all of the services we provide are designed to allow the individuals we serve to be part of their communities in the way that we would all want to be part of our communities. Last year, we served more than 4,300 individuals and their families in Boulder and Broomfield counties.
Wow. It's nice to hear some of those exact details of, the impact, because I know and trust the work that you do, and it's also really neat to hear the stretch and impact there. And I think hearing also the family origination is neat. I hadn't heard that before in terms of the parent group. And I know you've been here a long time, so 1963, that's amazing. And thank you, and all of the people that have worked at Imagine, thank you all for the work you do. With that, I can imagine that a lot has changed in this since, March with this pandemic. And, we've seen a lot of ups and downs with the pandemic itself. So how has that impacted you, whether that's from the beginning or as things have shifted till now? What do you want to share on that front?
Sure. I mean, it's a great question, because I just gave you this long explanation of how we're about community opportunity. Well, suddenly, for all of us, irrespective of our abilities or disabilities, community looks very different. And we had to pivot quickly, like everybody did. And we went to a huge portion of our services going online. Like everybody, we all became experts at Zoom pretty quickly. And it's a challenge, and it remains a challenge, because for all of us, this is an isolating time, but that can be especially difficult for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because it may be more difficult for them to understand what's going on, but more so that they may feel that sense of isolation and being away from friends and family, more so than us, because in our services, that's what we were trying to do. I'm very proud of our online services, the virtual services that we provide. It's great. The instructors who have done it made a great effort to pivot quickly, and they provide fun, engaging classrooms, but I don't think there's anybody that imagined that wouldn't say, we cannot wait till we can go back out in the community, because that's our mission and that's what we want to do. So for right now, we're giving them, the people that we serve, the opportunities to be part of the communities in the same limited ways that we all are experiencing community right now. And so none of us love it, but I am so proud of our team and our organization in the way that we've been able to continue to make it work and continue to provide those opportunities as the rest of the environment will allow.
That's really beautiful to hear that, you were able to pivot fast and create places to engage. And I imagine there's various levels of learning curves of, every team had to adjust, and then making sure everyone has that access to, being able to find you there. It's pretty wild with all those 4,300 individuals. I imagine that was a big term for you all. And we're with you and being excited to be able to engage with the community in person when it is safe and fun again. So
let's hope very soon.
I know there's a lot of things on the docket right now that looking forward to. So I think from whether it's a personal learning or through work learning, is there something from this experience in the last, feels like way too many months, that you want to share with everybody, kind of any sort of learning that feels maybe unique to your experience?
Well, sure. I mean, I in my last answer, I presented a little bit of the negative side that we wish it wasn't this way. But I also think we've learned that we can do it this way. And what that does is open up more opportunities as we move forward, and hopefully into the post-COVID world. There are individuals that we serve that, because of perhaps they have significant physical disabilities in addition to the intellectual disabilities, that where community connection remains difficult irrespective of a pandemic going on. We have learned in the last 8-9 months, now I'm losing track as well, but we have learned a lot of new ways that we can engage people through tools that exist out there. We're becoming so much more creative when it comes to our use of technology. And I would say Imagine has always, in our field, been a leader in using technology. But this past almost year has forced us to really, really engage it in ways that maybe we never were able to before. So despite the challenges and despite the fact that there's some things that we can't do that we wish we could do, we've also learned that there's a lot more that we can do, and it opens up doors for some of the folks that we serve for whom it's always been a challenge to be part of their community. And now we realize there's way more opportunities for that to happen. And we know the tools now, we understand the tools now, and we won't stop using those tools when we finally get out on the other side of this.
Totally. And you even touched on that, because that was with that question, part of that thought originally was like, okay, what are some of those things that we'll keep doing? And then, the question shifted, but you totally naturally even answered that it's like some of the creativity we've had to step into will serve us going forward and the communities that we serve. So I really, I think in the chamber realm, we are excited to go back to in person, but I think for some people, it's so nice for them to just be able to hop on a Zoom call to do networking instead of driving all the way somewhere. So I'm imagining that some hybridization, although maybe the events team is watching now and was like, don't promise anything. Yeah, I think that's also a really poignant point to make that people maybe don't always think about, is what is human connection for people that do have different levels of abilities and intellectual engagement, that this might provide tools for more connection. So that's really amazing. And I guess that's perfect segue into the question around equity and how Imagine is advancing equity in our community. You touched on some things already, but is there anything else you want to highlight in that realm?
Well, I'll go a little deeper into what I talked about, those parents way back in 1963 wanting their kids to be part of the community. It seems fairly obvious to us in 2020, but back then that was a radical idea, because in our society, individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and that's not what they were called back then, but they were literally hidden away from society. They would be put into institutions, basically warehoused in these giant buildings with little to no opportunity to be part of the community. And if parents said, no, I don't want that for my kid, well, they couldn't go to school, they couldn't join the Little League team, they couldn't be part of the community. So when I say our mission and our work continues to be founded on that goal, for us, it means allowing individuals with different abilities to fully participate in their community. And the particular population that we serve literally were not allowed to do so back then. And things have changed and come so far. And we are so fortunate to work in a community in Boulder and the surrounding areas that's incredibly supportive of our work. And more importantly, incredibly supportive and welcoming of the individuals we serve, because even now there's places where that's not the case. So our goal continues to allow the individuals we serve to be part of our community, but we can't do it without our community, without them, businesses being willing to hire the people we serve, or to allow us to bring groups in. We go to rec centers, and they don't close the rec center down. It's part of being the community when we're there. So I would say our organization is working continually to get to the point. I joke about this sometime, but maybe there'll come a day when Imagine doesn't need to exist, because the community is already there. And if there's ever going to be a place that is going to happen, it's going to be right here in Boulder, because we know we have an amazing supportive community, even evidenced by you giving me the opportunity to talk a little about what we do. So thank you to you in the chamber. Thank you to everybody watching. And we appreciate your being by our side as we work to create a world of opportunity for all abilities.
Thank you. And appreciate that arc of history, how that is very real. And I think important for people to think back on that maybe we're not alive then. And I think definitely there are some of us that, grew up in an era where, this is a liberal bubble, and understand that, human rights are a thing. And it's a reminder that it's totally not always that way, and still is not to this day, for sure, for so many people. But so appreciate the work that you're doing, and so glad to get a chance to learn a little bit more about Imagine in history. And are there any announcements that you have that you'd like to share?
Yes, thank you. The timing is really good. We have our 20th annual Imagine celebration coming up. That's our main fundraiser that we do every year. And of course, it's going to be virtual this year. It's scheduled for Saturday, January 30th next year, 2021. We'll have a live and silent auction, and we'll be able to bring our mission right into people's homes. Registration is free. We're going to be having some VIP tickets that will give you additional bonuses. So I encourage you to check out our website, which is imaginecolorado.org. Facebook page is Imagine Colorado. Instagram, Imagine_Colorado, and our Twitter page, Imagine CO Info. If you want to be part of it, it's a great way to experience our mission and to give back. And we'd sure appreciate anybody who wants to join us.
Wonderful. And what we can do, we've linked your Facebook page, but if you want to, in the comments, just add a link directly to, if there's a web page for the event, we can do that as well, just for easier clicking. And We'll make sure we get that onto the chamber member events calendar as well after this. Let's see, I think that's everything. So January 30th, correct?
January 30th, Saturday.
January 30th is, the 30th is the 20th annual Imagine celebration. So that's very exciting. We'll look forward to that event and hope everyone out there can join. And thank you all for joining us. I will sign us off of the live chat, and then we can chat after to make sure we get word out about that event. So thank you everybody for joining us today. And thank you, Fred, and everyone at Imagine. We love your work and so looking forward to continuing to partner in various ways to help you get that word out and support.
Great. Thank you again for the opportunity and to our community for being so supportive of us.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.